What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Friday Night Smackdown review, which is, I guess you could say, a very good bloodline, story-driven review. Especially what they did at the end. I like that little subtle hint. Um, I was looking at my notes as I saw what I was talking about. I was like, oh, that was cool. That was cool. But okay, my fault. I got lost in my notes. They started off with a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn promo, and they basically came out. Sami started off by coming out saying how they, everything's been such a whirlwind 2 weeks since they been tag team champions, and they haven't had much time to take it all in at being the tag team champions. With the blood, everything that's going on with the bloodline, they feud with the bloodline, and what else did he say? Oh yeah, the WWE draft coming up, and Kevin Owens said he knows two things, that they are the WWE Tag Team Champions, and that no matter where they go, if they get split separately or stay together, they will be on Raw or SmackDown to defend those titles. And Kevin Owens also mentioned how the draft makes for exciting times, as well as Sami. But he reminded Kevin Owens reminded Sami Zayn that eventually, sooner than later, the Usos will be coming for those tag titles. And right on cue, the Usos came out and basically with Solo at hand, basically talking about how to them it seemed like the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are cracking under the pressure, saying that it sounds like the pressure is getting to you. He said, "What do y'all know about pressure?" He said, y'all been champions, tag team champions for 2 weeks." He said, "We were tag team champions, I think, for like 2 years," and they was like, "That's pressure being tag, that's pressure being tag team champions for 2 years." With Sami making the jab, Sami didn't make a jab about, you guys do know about pressure. Happened to report back to Roman Reigns, with the failure of the fact that you don't have the tag team championships. Or, no, he called him Daddy. And that's because then, Jimmy was like, "Oh, shut up, Sami." He said, you've been saying the same thing for months. The bloodline got cracks. The bloodline's gonna crumble. The bloodline's got cracks. Daddy this, daddy that. He said, "Shut up." He said, all they know is that the bloodline's stronger than ever. There's no cracks. Everybody leveled up, and that they will be 9-time tag team champions again. And Sami acknowledged that, given I think because Jay had said there was no cracks, and Sami was like, well, he wishes he was as good as Jay. He wished he was as good in anything as Jay was at lying to himself, because they are lying to themselves. But yeah, he wished he was as good at anything as Jay was at lying to himself, because Jay basically acting like he didn't see that Solo was looking like he was ready to drop him last week. That Roman's not really mad at him, but he said, "Fine. If that's what y'all want to believe, y'all want to live in this delusional world that everything's cool, that the Roman's not mad at you and all that type of stuff, mad at you guys, cool." He said, "But it seems like nothing I say is going to matter, because you didn't just come out here to talk, did you?" And Jay said, "Yeah." And he said, "Nah, yeah, we didn't." And then and then they brawl would ensue. They would they all out like the Shield. They would surround the ring, but then Matt Riddle would come out and pull Solo down from the ring, and they all three of them would brawl, having the getting the upper hand over the Usos and Solo. More on that later, because there's a backstage promo where they was hyping him up. They was hyping Solo up about that. But the reason why I say that because right when at the end of the segment, you can hear Matt Riddle saying that he want Solo in a match tonight. And then like in a backstage, little quick backstage promo, Adam Pearce told the referee to find Solo and Matt Riddle, tell them that the match is on and that it will be the main event. We did get the first match of the night, which is Xavier Woods versus LA Knight, and that was a good match. That was a good match. As you can see, it was a lot to unpack in that promo from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but yeah, this was a good match. This was it was an okay match. Let me downgrade that to okay. It was an okay match, but it wasn't a bad way to start off SmackDown. And Xavier Woods did get the victory here over LA Knight, but then in a quick backstage promo, he would match with Gunther to set up a championship match between them two next week on SmackDown. I think that was revealed like at the end of the show. Like, you know how they revealed what's going to happen on the next week's show right before the main event. And then we got another promo from Kevin Owens and them backstage where they was hyping Matt Riddle up. You know, Sammy at first was trying to play like the cautious role, like telling him to be cautious and smart about his match with Solo and stuff. But then Kevin was like, "No, forget that. They put you out for like three or so months. Like, no, go in there. You want revenge, don't you? Go in there, be aggressive, and take your revenge out." And you know, which hyped Matt Riddle up. Said both of y'all got good points, but Kevin is right. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna handle my business and take my revenge out on Solo, bro. Then we get to another promo with Judgment Day. Mainly Damian Priest, but it started off backstage with Caleb Braxton interviewing them about what happened with Latino World Order or LWO last week, and how she mentioned how Rhea was embarrassed by Zelina Vega, and that she it looked like they are setting up Zelina as Rhea's next challenger. But yeah, they were talking about how she got embarrassed, but they, you know, Dominic was like, you know what, you don't want to anger mommy, you know, stop it, Katie, before Rhea could get too angry. And Damian Priest said he was going to handle Santos Escobar, but that he knew she was going to add her next question was going to be about Bad Bunny, but he was going to address that in the ring. Thus, they go in the ring to continue the promo where he do address Bad Bunny, saying that Bad Bunny is still his friend, and that he pretty much doesn't want to fight Bad Bunny. He said, if you want to come to Raw or SmackDown or even Backlash in Puerto Rico and sit in the first season and enjoy the show, he said, fine. He said that you can do that all you want. I won't mess with you. But if you get involved and hit my family, talking about Judgment Day, and try to hit my family, then we're gonna have we see what happened before, and he had them run the clip of him putting Bad Bunny through the table, and then he had him do it again. And then Santos Escobar and them coming out playing tricks because his music, the guy there for Tasman's music or Latino World Order now, because now they tighten trying to sell LWO, and Zelina Vega came out to distract Rhea while Santos Escobar and the rest of it and came out and hit and jumped Dominic from behind, thus starting the match. I think they went to a commercial break. But yeah, then we got the second match of the night, which is Damian Priest versus Santos Escobar, which was a good, I would give it a good. It was a good match. Um, it was more so about the story around it than the match itself, but the match was good. It went longer than I thought it would, but it was good. They both had their spot. Santos and Damian Priest were well together, but in the end, due to shenanigans and distractions, Damian Priest would get the victory. But they wouldn't stop there. They started beating down Santos Escobar and the rest of Latino World Order. And Rey Mysterio would come out and he would brawl with Dominic and help Santos and the rest fend them off to stand tall. Though it looks like it will be like, it's looking more and more likely that the rumors about about what the matchups is going to be at Backlash are starting to seem true. Liv Morgan and Raquel had like basically a celebration promo, basically celebrating their victory Monday of becoming the new women's tag team champions, and talking about how well they complement each other before being interrupted by Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, who did have a good point. I will say that. I will say she do have a good point, because there is kind of a loophole right there. Like, how can you become a champion of anything without actually beating the complete champions? And in this regard, like, she said, how are they allowed to be champions if they only person they beat was Becky Lynch? And they didn't even pin Becky Lynch. They pinned Trish Stratus, who is technically not the champion. And like, just because she filled in for Lita doesn't make her the champion. Like, it's only Lita and Becky as champion, and then they pinned Trish to win the title. So that was a good point there. But other than that, the promo was kind of cringe, because thanks to a little bit of Chelsea Green, but they basically was complaining about how management mistreated them. Going off of the fact that Adam Pearce allowed that victory, but they Liv Morgan and them started brawling with Sonya Deville right after they said that they going to go and make sure that their next challengers are Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, since they out there running their mouth. Then the brawl happened, and thus setting up them two as their next challengers. And again, I'm going to say again, this looks more and more like the rumors are true, because instead of having a rematch at Backlash for the tag titles, it looks like it's going to be Becky versus Trish at Backlash. Then we will get the next match, which is the returning Shinsuke Nakamura. I can't do it like with booze. But Shinsuke Nakamura versus Riddick Moss, or Madcap Moss. The thing about this story is that they position like they a heel turn now for, I guess, Madcap and Emma. Now they both like a heel tag them, because they acted very heelish in this promo. And Michael Cole tried to spin it like, oh, it's about the WWE draft, and anybody try to jock for position to be chosen and all that type of stuff. And it was just like, okay, but they've been presented as baby faces up until this point. Now they acting like heels. And even with Emma telling Reddit before he walked out that they should be cheering him, that Shinsuke he's better than Shinsuke in every way, and that the cheers and stuff they get that the fans are giving Shinsuke should be for him, and all that type of stuff. And then the match will happen. Obviously, I would say it was a good match, and it was more involved more around Shinsuke than it did Madcap. It was just a way to show off his skills or whatnot, and Shinsuke would get the victory with a Kinshasa. But the thing here is to submit that that they was heels. I guess Emma told Riddick to attack Shinsuke while he wasn't looking, but Shinsuke called him and put him in the arm bar and subdued him, and then forcing him out the ring once he tried to attack him again, thanks to Emma pulling him out. But yeah, just pretty much signified that both of them become heels. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura got the victory here in the I say a okay match. Then we got the main event, which is Matt Riddle versus Solo Sikoa. And the thing here is, before the match started, Paul Heyman had a promo. Now this is where I forgot too. Right before this, it was the Usos' them turn to hype up Solo, and they were doing just like somewhat like Kevin Owens and them. They was hyping up Solo, but it was mostly Paul Heyman. It was like, they embarrassed you earlier, and when you get embarrassed, Roman Reigns get embarrassed, the Usos get embarrassed, your father Rikishi is getting embarrassed, Yokozuna, is embarrassed. He said Umaga is rolling over in his grave. I'm like, oh god. And then like you could tell like the way he was going, he was mentioning all these names. He was gonna go one name too far, and then he I forgot what he said. He was getting ready to say another name, but then Solo was like, tell the tribal chief. And you can see Jimmy and Jay perfectly in the background. Like, it was like, hey man, damn, you went too far, man. Come on now. Come on, man. What you doing? No. Like, you see them doing like that, and you see Jimmy doing that, and then sometimes we'll just be like, hey man, I don't know, man. You went a little too far with that. But he said, tell the tribal chief, I got this. And this would lead to what I was about to talk about, was that he got back on the phone with the tribal chief, and Paul Heyman said that in the ring, when they got to the ring, that phone, what resulted of that phone call was that in 2 weeks' time, Sami and Kevin Owens will defend the titles against the Usos again, and that he said that you will lose the titles to the Usos, and that the best part of the promo is right here. This is why I said this is what Paul Heyman did to make this promo so good, was that he said, and this is not a prediction, this is not a prediction, this is a spoiler. He said, you will lose those tag team titles because the tribal chief is losing patience, loses patience with the two of you. And the thing was, I'm looking at you like you were Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but that's not what Paul Heyman did. He turned his head towards the Usos, while the Usos was doing like this to Sami and Kevin, and he turned his head toward them. When at first he was looking at them, he said, because the tribal chief is losing patience, and then he went, with the two of you. And I'm like, that whole time he was looking directly at the Usos. And I'm like, that's wonderful storytelling. But in all, the match itself was good. I have nothing. It was a good little match. Interference. It was a little heavy on the interference. Even after, the one thing I will say about it was, after you get ejected, how can you just come back out? And after, because the referee ejected Sami and Kevin Owens first, then the Usos, and then it was like they just came right back out. And it's still, that's how Solo won the match, because they came back out distracted Matt Riddle to get the victory for Solo, and thus a brawl would happen. A brawl would happen between, once they came out again, once they got ejected, came back out. A brawl would happen between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and the Usos. And once Solo won the victory, he beat up Sami Zayn and Matt Riddle did a Uranagi on the announce table, then flipped the announce table over there on top of Matt Riddle. and Kevin Owens and them would come take the table off of them while Solo and them stand tall in the ring. Overall, this was a good SmackDown. This was a good SmackDown. Good storytelling and subtle hints that Jay and them are really. If this other anything would tell you right there that Kevin Owens and them are right about Sami Zayn and them, about the Usos being about lying to themselves about Roman not being mad, because they didn't even pick up on that when he said the two of you. He wasn't looking at Kevin Owens and them. He was looking at them two. But I would give this a 7 out of 10. It was just as good as Monday Night Raw. It wasn't better or worse. So get a 7 out of 10. There you go. Big ups. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed this review, you hit this button right there for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those buttons. And as always, hit me on these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere, because I got more coming your way. Peace.